Hey you, welcome to Shades of Content, a show that teaches entrepreneurs how to effectively use content to market their business and stay content while doing it. I'm your host, Patrice, a wife, a mom of 3, and a 15-year public relations and marketing professional who decided to open a brick and mortar content studio 4 years ago. And I honestly haven't looked back since. Join me as I share my experiences and the experiences of other entrepreneurs who, like me, are navigating this maze of owning a business, running a family, and trying to stay sane and healthy while doing it. I'll tell you, it's an amazingly challenging journey, but I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. See you soon. Hey, what's up? I don't know how this looks, but we're going to get this content out by any means necessary. Welcome back to Shades of Content, the show that teaches Black millennial mompreneurs how to use market to content their business and how to be content. I'm your host, Patrice, and in the last full episode, I told you that I would be starting a new series, and this is a week later. I don't care, but we are here. This is a new series. And as you saw from the show episode graphic, it's a total takeover. All right. And I do have my notes in front of me, so I'm going to be looking down. I don't care. Judge your mother. This is great content that you need. I'm doing a whole series on opening and owning content studios. I've talked about this before. I've talked about owning a content studio a lot on this show because that is my business. And that is why I'm so passionate about content marketing, because people use my content studio, my business, to create their own content marketing for their own businesses. So it's like super full circle, all vertically integrated. This is my business. This is our old logo, but I'm representing all the time. So what is this series going to look like? It's going to be 4 to 5 episodes that focus specifically on opening a content studio. Like I said, I've owned mine for 5.5 years, and I see so many more pop up. 2021, 2022 was really like the awakening of content studios. And I think that's great, but I've owned mine way longer. And so I am absolutely the authority to tell you how to do it. I want to share with you what I know, right? The goal of my content is always to educate, is always to inform, is always to help. I don't want anybody else trying to figure this out on their own the way I had to figure it out on my own. I want to be a resource. And with that, I've created an entire community, the Open a Content Studio community. There's a link to it in the show notes. There's been a masterclass. There's an Instagram page. There's going to be a Facebook community. It's going to be a lot of things. And I just want all the studio owners to come together and figure this out the best way possible. Again, I never want to live in a silo, and I am absolutely not a gatekeeper. So I'm going to share everything I know in this next series. Like I said, I think it'll be about 4 episodes, but we'll see. The video episodes of this podcast, I don't think they're going to live on the regular Shades of Content YouTube page. I think I'm going to put all this content on the Open a Content Studio YouTube page. Again, all of that is linked in the show notes. Before we get into it, I need you to do 2 things. All right. I need you to rate the show. So in any of your audio, wherever you're listening to this, make sure that you're rating the show. I need you to write a review. If you've listened to 1 episode, I need you to write a review. And I need you to tap the 3 buttons. There's an arrow somewhere where you can share the episode. If you're watching it, you can share the episode. Copy that link, send it to somebody that you know that owns a content studio, that wants to own a content studio. I don't know, figure it out. Now let's get into the pretentious P moment.
You're so pretentious.
Okay, y'all. So the pretentious P moment, like I said, if you're new here, okay? If you're new here, not every episode, but I try to bring in what's happening in the world as my pretentious P. My name is Patrice, so there's the P alliteration. And so this week's pretentious P moment, it is about homecoming. We are in the thick of it with homecoming season. We're in October. It's fall. Homecomings are happening every weekend. Actually, my University of Maryland College homecoming is on the same day as my son's high school homecoming. And I went to, like I said, University of Maryland, which is a predominantly white institution. I did not go to a HBCU. And I chose to go to a white school. I chose to go to Maryland because I went to a HBCHS, which is a predominantly Black high school. So I knew the Black experience, and I can't say that I was like yearning for the white experience. Absolutely not. But some people go to HBCUs because they didn't get a chance to experience what it was like to be around their people, their Black brothers and sisters growing up. I had that from pre-K through 12. So when the time came for me to go to University of Maryland, which was right not far from my house, great school, super close, in-state tuition. I wasn't really tripping off of having the Black experience in college because I knew what that was like. And I know that the Black experience in college is way different than when you're in a high school that's predominantly African American, but I wasn't pressed to have that experience. Nonetheless, I also was never really big into the Black school homecoming, the HBCU homecoming experience. I did go to and I'm from the DMV, so I passed Howard growing up. Like I'm very familiar with Howard University, right? Like it's in the area that I grew up in. My mom went to Howard, but she graduated from Maryland, But I just never was like pressed to experience HBCU homecoming or go to Howard homecoming. I did, though, go to Howard homecoming my sophomore year, me and my friend Justin. Justin, if you see this, Justin was a year younger than me. He was also from the DMV. He was a gay Black man at University of Maryland, and we used to sashay up and down the hallways of Ellicott Hall, period. And he would model with me. And Justin, I don't know where you are, but I pray to God that you are safe, happy, and healthy. If you see this, or if you know Justin, if you went to University of Maryland and you know Justin, please show him this because I miss him. How you doing, boo-boo? Anyway, he and I went to a Howard homecoming and I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I had no desire to stay there. I'm very Black. I am very culturally aware, but there was nothing about the HBCU homecoming experience that ever appealed to me. Maybe it was that it was too many people. Maybe it was because there was too many antics. Y'all know our people love a good antic. Maybe it was because the party tickets were just ridiculously overpriced and overcrowded. It just was never my thing.
It's just never been my thing, not into it, so not approved.
And like I said, I did go to a Howard University homecoming before, but I never went back. And I love University of Maryland homecoming. I've also never been to another school's homecoming, right? So I'm saying this as biased as they come. I've been to University of Maryland homecoming multiple times, always have a good time, right? Shout out to Daryl, who also went to my high school. He brings it all together. He has a spreadsheet where everybody has to sign up for what they're going to bring. Me and my homegirl, Chrissy, who's one of my best friends, we were roommates in college. She's my son's godmother. We always go, like, it's so fun. And I look forward to this every year. And it's like, we have a good time with our Black friends. Then we walk along and then we tailgate with our white cohorts and counterparts. It's a different experience and I love it. So, it's also, I feel like it's different. Like we're doing shot skis. It's diverse. It's not just white people and Black people. It's Indian people. It's Asian people. It feels like what it felt like at college. And for me, that multicultural experience, while I might not have appreciated it while I was at Maryland, I absolutely see the value in it now. So that's it. I don't know how pretentious that was, but you probably not going to catch me at an HBCU homecoming anytime soon. Maybe if my son decides to go to Morehouse, because he also has one option if he wants to go to a Black school, and that's Morehouse. Judge me again if you want to. We can talk about it offline. But it's all love. Happy homecoming season. Let's get back to the episode. Okay, so we are moving into the first episode of our Contentpreneur series. And this one is going to be like super bare bones, things that you need to know when, what is content? How can you open a content studio if you don't even know what content is? So yeah, we're going to start at the bare minimum. If you're going to open a content studio, you absolutely need to know what is content. You hear the word all the time. It was a buzzword. And I've said this on the show before. I remember hating the word content because people were saying it so much. And one of my best friends, Brian, he was podcasting way before podcasting was a thing. And he'd be like, oh, Patrice, content. And I'd be like, bro, chill. So as the first series or the first episode in the Contentpreneur series, I'm going to break down what content means. Yes, there is an episode already on the YouTube channel that talks about it. You can see it somewhere below, but I think it's important that you also hear me talk about it. So what is content? Content is a broad term that refers to any information, material, or media that is created and shared through various forms of communication. Content can take many forms, including text messages, images, videos, articles, podcasts, infographics, social media, live streams, etc. There are actually over 100 different types of content, and content has been around forever. Content didn't just become thing. It didn't just exist when Instagram came around, right? Like content is everything. It's not just about TikTok. It's not just about Instagram carousel posts. Like I said, it's text, it's images, it's video, it's articles, it's podcasts, it's infographics, it's social media, it's live streams, it's all of the things. Content is a very broad term for a lot of different things, over 100, all right? So the 4 common reasons that we create content are to inform and educate our audience, right? That's really the fundamental reason why you're creating content. This means sharing the knowledge, sharing your insights, sharing news, sharing tutorials on topics of interest to your target audience. And if you're watching this, your target audience is probably going to be people that are creating content, right? Your target audience are people that are going to use your space. But your target audience is pretty much anybody that's going to patronize your business, anybody that's going to give you money, that's going to buy your products, buy whatever it is, or take in whatever it is that you're selling. Educational content helps you become established in your authority. Like it helps you become an authority in your industry, and it makes you the expert in your field. That's why even if you don't have a business, if there's something that you are super passionate about and you know it and you do it, figure out a way to create content around it, because then you'll be an expert. This is literally what I do with almost every episode of Shades of Content. I'm always trying to inform. I'm always trying to educate you. It's fun, haha, but I'm not really trying to entertain you. I want to teach you something that you can take and then implement it quickly into your life. Another reason why we create content is to engage and connect. I love connecting. Content is really a powerful tool for building connections and engaging with your audience, right? When you create content that really resonates with your audience's interests, needs, or emotions, you're absolutely going to foster a sense of community and loyalty around your brand and your message. So it's not always about selling. When you're able to turn that camera on or write an email text that is really connecting, that's how you're going to create that brand loyalty. I'll give you an example, right? So this is a perfect example of how email marketing is, or how content creation is so important. With this Open a Content Studio community, our email list is about 305 people and the open rates are 50%. Most open rates for email marketing is like 20 is a good mark. If you got a 20% open rate, then you're killing it. The open rates in this community is 50%. That's because I am sharing and giving very targeted information in the email that's making people want to open it. I have encouraged them to connect. I have absolutely engaged this audience because I'm giving them what they need. The informational content, the educational content that I am distributing through the email marketing content campaign that we have is exactly what you all need. So you're engaging with it, you're connecting with it, and you're opening those emails at much higher rates than normal. Okay. So another reason why we use content is to market and promote. Clearly, this YouTube channel is a form of content. The videos that you see are forms of content that are marketing and promoting the masterclass that I had last month, the survey that is in the link in the show notes, right? I'm promoting what it is that I'm trying to sell to you and who I am. So, content is a key component in marketing and promoting, whether you're promoting a product, a service, an event, a cause, a person, a brand. Creating content allows you to communicate the benefits, the features, and the values of what you're offering. So if you own a content studio, if you're going to open a content studio, you should be using marketing to promote that content studio. Like it's a business. So you should be promoting it using content that people create in the space, using content that you've created in the space to share how amazing the space is. And then the last reason, or not the last reason, but another common reason for creating content is to entertain and captivate. Like I said, I don't come on here to entertain you, but I'm an entertaining girl. I'm a captivating girl. So you're automatically going to be drawn in by who I am. If you feel like you don't have the vibe or that engaging, that captivating presence, I say keep doing it, right? You only get better with practice. But if you don't want to be the face of this brand, your content studio brand, you could absolutely bring in influencers, bring in more engaging people to connect with your audience. The bottom line is you should absolutely be creating content, all the many different types. Find what works best for you and do that to promote your business. Now, how does this all connect to you opening a content studio? I've mentioned it already in the previous part of this episode, but you absolutely should be using content to promote your content studio. It seems like a no-brainer, but there are a lot of people and a lot of businesses that are not using content to market their business. Now, when I say use content to market your content studio, I'm not just talking about putting up a picture that says the rates of your studio or the hours of your studio. No, your content, in my opinion, should be showing people using the studio. Your customers are literally creating all the different types of content in your space. So like I said, there's over 100 different types of content, and your customers are using your space to create all of these different types of content to promote your business. Take advantage of that. As a studio owner, you really do need to be well versed in content creation. Many of your customers are going to absolutely need guidance. They're going to need to know how to do it. They're going to need to know why they should be using your studio. So you have to have some insight and be able to give them a reason to come back to your studio over and over again to create. When they have questions about the best content or the best modes of content or the best way to use content to reach their specific audience, your studio and you, the expert, the owner of the studio, should be what comes to mind. And lastly, you gotta be, like I said this already, y'all. This episode is probably a bit redundant because I've said it, but that's okay. You have to be creating content to market your studio. You have to be creating content to market your studio. That can include Instagram posts. That can include short form video that you post on YouTube, that you post on TikTok, that you post on Instagram. That should absolutely include email marketing. That should absolutely include tweets or X or whatever you want to call it, right? It should include podcasts. I've said this in other episodes. This podcast exists because I put a special podcast room in my own studio. And then I was like, well, we have to have a podcast. So this podcast exists. Yeah, I say that it's about teaching people content marketing tips and contentment hacks for Black millennial mompreneurs. Yeah, that's important. But when it's all said and done, it brings you right back to my studio, right? That's the cheat code here. You have to create content to market your studio. It's so important. I hope that was helpful. I don't think these Contentpreneur series episodes are going to be that long. I want you to get the information. I want you to take it in, take one nugget from each episode and move forward in your own journey of opening your own content studio. I've actually included a free list of all the different types of content for you, right? It's in the show notes. Grab it for free. Like I said, I like giving out stuff. I'm not going to hold things. I want you to take what you need and get better and open your studio. Open it. Let's get it open. Few reminders. Please rate the show if this was helpful for you. If you're watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the show. If you are listening on the audio version, I think you can give it a 5-star review. I think you can give it a 4-star review. I think you can also write a rating. Let me know if it's helpful. It doesn't have to be long. It can literally be episode, whatever, was super helpful. Looking forward to more. That's all I need, y'all. Help your girl out. Creators like me, we're creating these things for you for free. I'm not getting paid to do this. I want you to get the information so you can be better and so you can come back and share it. Follow the Open a Content Studio community on Instagram. And like I said already, subscribe to the YouTube page. I want you to open your studio at Open a Studio on all platforms. All the links are in the show notes. Everything that you need is right there. Make sure you also check out the episode sponsors. Can't wait to see you back next Friday with another full Contentpreneur series episode. And then I'm going to definitely be dropping a contentment hack episode on next Wednesday. Peace. All right, now, y'all, don't forget to connect with Shades of Content on Instagram at Shades of Content and with me, Patrice Camo, at Patrice Camo. And also be sure to rate this show, leave a review, and subscribe because that's actually the only way that we're going to grow. I'll see you next week.